Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Alyssa and this channel is about the laws of the universe and how you can use them to attract the life of your dreams and thrive in your 3D experience. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon. Like this video to get it out to more people, leave me a comment, and share this video if you find it useful. In this video, I'll be going over shadow work and how understanding the universal law of polarity can seriously help you while you're doing this type of work, whether you're just starting out with shadow work or you've been doing it for a while. So I'll briefly get into what shadow work and the law of polarity are, how they affect us, and then I'll give you 3 tips on how to incorporate them into your life in a positive, life-changing way. So go ahead and hit that like button and let's get into it. First, what is the shadow? It's a term coined by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, and he described the shadow as an energetic buildup of the parts of ourselves that we've deliberately hidden away from the world or subconsciously suppressed for one reason or another. Either way, they lie dormant inside of us, and over time, if left unaddressed, these aspects start coming out in unhealthy ways in different areas of our lives. And shadow work is the act of becoming aware of, reframing, and integrating these aspects that we've spent so much time and energy trying to avoid. And again, these things eventually do come up, and this means that they need our attention. So this is when it's time for us to look at them and integrate them, which I'll get more into a little bit later. So then what is the law of polarity? The universal law of polarity states that everything in this universe has polar opposite charges to it. It's also called the law of opposites, and it says that we need both sides to every coin, so to speak. So light and dark, negative and positive, happy and sad, etc. This is how we fully grasp the human experience, by accepting all aspects of it. Now, how does the law of polarity tie into shadow work? Well, when we start doing shadow work, we're bringing to light these darker parts of ourselves, right? Plain and simple. So we're embracing both the light and the dark. We're fully accepting our dark side, and the more light we bring into darkness, what happens? It starts to diminish. Now, I'm not saying these aspects will go away, but they won't be affecting you in the negative ways that they were doing before. So shadow work is not about fighting these aspects. That creates more resistance. You fight something, it's gonna fight you back. This is about learning how to express these emotions in a more balanced, loving, and healthy way. And something that I've realized when I started doing this work last year is that I am not alone in this, and neither are you. We humans have a very broad range of emotions that we are constantly working with. And so many of us have pushed down these parts of us that we don't want people to see. So that shadow has held the energy of shame for a long time. And understanding the law of polarity regarding shadow work can at least help us to forgive ourselves and release some of that shame. And realize that we just didn't learn how to integrate these shadow aspects, and that they're even looked at as weaknesses throughout society. So it's not your fault that these things have been left unacknowledged for so long. So how do you shine more light on these aspects and integrate your shadow in a healthy, mindful way? Well, obviously step 1 is awareness, right? So be honest with yourself, and in a judgment-free way, pinpoint 1 or 2 aspects that have been showing up and interfering in your life more and more lately. Some examples of shadow can be jealousy or envy, selfishness, being judgmental, irrationally angry. It can show up through gossip, people-pleasing, narcissism, codependency, etc. When these aspects come up, they have an emotion attached, right? So look at this as feedback. What messages are these things sending you? Anger, for instance. Maybe a boundary that you've set has been crossed, or maybe someone makes a joke at your expense. Fill in the blank, right? So the anger shadow shows up as feedback, sending you the message that you are triggered and something needs to be communicated and adjusted. So look at that and take responsibility for it. A minor example for me is impatience. I don't mind waiting, okay? But there have been a lot of times lately where I felt like my time wasn't being considered. So after years of playing victim to that, blaming it on other people and outside circumstances, it started building up. And lately it's been coming up more as a shadow. So I started seeing that as feedback and turning it around back to me. Because if this is the reflection that I'm getting, maybe I'm not considering myself or my own time. Maybe I need to plan ahead better. If I'm getting triggered by this, it means that it's coming from within me. So I needed to look at that and listen to that message. If I plan ahead as best as I can, you can't always avoid last minute disruptions. But if I go back to considering myself and my time more, and that of others for that matter, I won't get the reflection of other people and things that create more impatience for me, We reap what we sow. So find what's affecting you the most right now and get to the root of why it's bothering you the way that it is. In my case, I didn't feel like I was being considered, and there's a core reason behind that. This ties into inner child healing work, which I just did a video about last week, so I'll post that in the description box and pin it to the comments if you guys want to check it out. But finding the origin of your shadow is a big piece to this puzzle as well. So awareness is step one. The second thing that you can do to integrate your shadow is to assign each part of it a job. Again, we have that whole emotional spectrum to work with. So how can we delegate? Get creative. How can your shadow, or lesser elements of it as you keep doing this work, but how can it play a useful role in your life? So for example, shame. Let's say you planned on something working out a certain way and it didn't. Like maybe you were up for a big job promotion, maybe you told everyone about it, people were excited for you, you were sure you'd get it, but you didn't. Now you have to tell your friends and family, this brings up a lot of shame, and you feel like a failure. Well, maybe the emotion of shame's job is to show you how much you care about something, or what's really important to you, or not important. It can also be your motivator. In this case, failures are usually an automatic negative to us, right? But what if we looked at it through polarity lenses and reframed that to look like a much needed lesson, something that we had to go through? We tend to focus on the couple of things that we did wrong, rather the hundreds of things that we've done right, or even potential positive outcomes. One thing doesn't go the way we want it to, so we stop seeing the hundreds of ways that it could work and the doors of opportunity that can open as a result. Another example of this is procrastination. Assign that as maybe your manager of relaxation and reflection. Without abusing it, of course, set aside specific times when you know that you're lacking motivation and use that to relax and self-reflect. Take a bath, spend some time alone, read a book, meditate. Use this time to really lean into your feminine. Clear that ego chatter a bit and get some clarity on your next move. So again, assign each shadow aspect that you're working on to an area of your life where its messages are useful and can act as guidance for you. And the third thing that you can do to integrate your shadow is to love your triggers. As humans, like I said 100 times in this video, we are designed with a lot of emotions, but we're not always channeling them in the right ways. So back to the anger example, we're meant to feel anger, right? We can't avoid the feeling of anger from time to time. But when it does come up, how are you expressing it? Who and what is getting to you the most? Where do you feel it in your body? And how are you releasing it? Through what kinds of language and actions are you letting this out? Analyze this through judgment-free lenses, okay? Remember, this is about integration, not continuing to suppress. So look at your triggers as your friends. They're there to guide you and tell you when something's not working in your life. Look at them as a separate person than you, as like a friend giving you feedback about your surroundings. Again, the more we fight these emotions, the more they'll fight to come back up, leading to more and more resistance. Negative experiences are not going anywhere, right? The proverbial punches will keep coming, but our perspective on them will completely make or break the outcome. And on that note, I conclude this video, but I'll sum up real quick because I know that we did cover a lot. So how to use the law of polarity to integrate your shadow. Let in both the light and the dark parts of yourself. We need both sides to fully appreciate our experience. Become aware of what shadow aspects have been affecting your life the most lately. See it as feedback and get to the root of it through inner child work. And again, that video is linked below. Assign each shadow aspect a job or a role that could help integrate it in a healthy way, and reframe your triggers and see them as your friends that are here to guide you. So that is all that I have for you guys on how to do shadow work using the law of polarity. I truly hope this was helpful. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment with your shadow work journey. I would love to hear about that. And of course, share this video if you found it useful. But thank you all so much for watching today. And as always, please be safe, much love, and I'll see you next time.